Good morning, YouTube. Hope everybody's doing well. I know it's been a while since I made a video. It's life, guys. My daughter's been sick. My wife just had a wheel bearing start to go bad on her car. I've been having to deal with that and driving here and there and different things. You guys know all about life. I don't have to tell you much more than that. But so I'm here now. This video and life again is not the video I wanted to do. I had ordered a scale from Amazon, to kind of do weight comparisons and stuff. So I was kind of putting off a video, waiting on it to show up, and when it shows up, it's broken. Looked like somebody took a hammer to it and threw it in the box. I don't know. It happens. So yeah, so I don't really have any specs on these, which was something I was wanting to really try to pin down on them. Kind of compare the Socom Elite a little bit to the Bravo. Now you can't do a full, you can't really compare these, but I really wanted to nail down the specs for you all and show you that way in case, you were wondering. But so I'm just going to give you my opinions on them. I can give you somewhat overall specs and stuff. I didn't have time to do the research on it, but I thought we'd just look at some Microtech knives and kind of go over them a little bit today. So this is an American-made Socom Elite. I got this from a good friend of mine, probably 2 or 3 years ago now. And I really wasn't interested in Microtech knives too much. I mean, they interested me, but because I don't like autos all that well, I just didn't jump on one real quick. Well, he happened to have this one in person where I could see it in person, and yeah, I fell in love with it right away. Very smooth action. The purple's cool. Very thin blade. 204 piece steel. Yeah, I really liked it. Well-made knife. Now, it is tip down carry only. And on, I don't know, it's not something I do, but on some, not like on this knife, it works. I mean, I can't think of a knife where it works better. It's almost like it should be this way. Maybe that makes sense to you. Some people like all their knives like that. I'm, no judgment. It's just not something I do. I prefer the tip down, or I mean the tip up carry. But to each their own, man. And a lot of people say that, when you draw it from the pocket, when it's tipped down, you're ready to go. And that's correct. I honestly don't get why most of us like the tip up. But anyway, I do. So I have a Spyderco K2 that's the same way, and it feels at home that way. Just some knives do. Anyway, 204 piece steel. It's ground very thin behind the edge. I'd say just about right. It's not real thin, but just enough thickness there because it is a tactical knife. And it kind of carries a little bit of that thickness out to the tip. Good piercer, but it's also got a little meat behind it there. The geometry, I would say, on this, for this knife, is just about perfect. Aluminum handle, which is something that's the thing I don't like about this knife. Now, the fact that it's aluminum doesn't bother me, but it feels a little bit unwieldy and blade heavy. But if you check the balance on it, it's really not. I don't know why it feels that. It's just a feel to it. I don't know why. It's just one of those weird things. It feels blade heavy to me. Another thing, the T6 hardware, it's kind of a bummer. It's okay, but I've had some catastrophes. I've had some bad times with that little hardware before. Not on Microtech. I should be clear there. Not on Microtech, but on just other knives. Loctited T6. Yeah, just not a fan. But I haven't had any trouble here. Just saying. I'm looking at it. It's a bit of a bummer. I mean, why? It's a big knife. It's a little over 9 inches overall. It doesn't have to be like that. But this is sandwich construction. It looks a bit like an integral. It's got a little glass breaker on the back. Not too intrusive or anything. I could take it or leave it. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind lanyards. I used to carry lanyards on just about every knife. I used to put them on just about every knife I owned. I don't anymore. Something I kind of phased out of, but I don't mind the lanyard hole being there. I know some people don't like that. But yeah, really good knife overall. This is my first Microtech. The pocket clip works really well. And it's an inset liner lock. That works fine. It's got a little bit of stick on this particular one, but yeah, good action. It's got a little bit different sound to it, and but yeah, good knife. I like this one a lot. That was my first Microtech. This is the Socom Bravo. Now, different blade shape, different knife. So Microtech collaborated with Reich out of China to make a few knives. Some people don't like the word collaborate. You know, they're like, that's not the right word to use. I don't know. I'm not the politics of it. You know, you'll have to make up your own mind on that. It doesn't bother me that they did this, as long as they keep making knives in the USA. If this is something they needed to do, wanted to do, yeah, I'm fine with it. It's a good knife. Reich makes good knives. Of course, they're out of China. So this one's M390 on the blade, Tonto blade. It's got this deep fuller here. Thumb stud action. Very good action, by the way. You can't get that fuller. It doesn't come out, you know, so there's no reverse flick unless you can get that stud. It's a little, you know, it's not something you'd really want to do, but I guess you can do it. It's nice, very comfortable. Somewhat the same construction, but this is titanium and carbon fiber, where this one's aluminum. This one's got a little heftier feel to it. And a lot different sound. I don't know if that'll come through or not, but the sound is way different. Let's see. Anyway, acoustics. I don't have the room for that, so we're in a shop, so I don't know. Maybe it'll come through a little bit and you can get the point. But so yeah, this is one of Microtech's collaborations with Reich in China. Now some people are really bothered by that, and I mean that's fine. I don't, you know, no judgment. I get it. I'm just saying it doesn't bother me. So, but yeah, this is the Reich Microtech Socom Bravo. Very good knife. This was got T8 hardware on it, so a little bit better there. That's probably a T. That's a big pivot. I don't know what that is. Both of them on the pivot are pretty good size. That's at least a T10. Now this one is tip up carry. When you're talking, you know how you carry, but when you say it, you're never really sure. It's one of them things where you just don't pay enough attention to it. So when you go to say it, you're always checking yourself. Am I saying that right? But yeah, this is a very good knife as well. I'm not gonna pick one. I'm not gonna say which one feels better to me, which one, because they're different. They're a lot different. They're different knives, so of course they are, but they're very similar. They have very different feel to them, I should say. This one's a little bit heavier, about the same size though. But yeah, so the Socom Elite, made in America. Socom Bravo, not. Another Microtech I have. I think this may have been the second one I got because I always liked it. I always thought it looked badass, and you know, looking at it online. But again, I'm not so much an automatic guy. I kind of hoped they would make it in a manual, and they have now, but I don't have that version. I bought this shortly after I got this off Taylor. I bought this, and this is the automatic stitch. Look at that. I mean, that is, yeah, I would not want to see that coming at me. Just a very bold design, aluminum handle, spring steel pocket clip. That may be titanium, honestly. I'm not sure. Damn, I don't have a magnet out here close. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, so yeah, that's either titanium or aluminum. I don't think it'd be aluminum, but it's titanium maybe. I'll have to research that. So M390 blade steel. Surprisingly thin behind the edge. I mean, you look at that blade and you probably think, man, it's a brick. And kind of, but it's fairly thin behind the edge. It's not bad. It's not as bad as you would think looking at it. Aluminum handle, push button automatic. Made very well. These knives are just... stop pin, guys. Can you see that? Let me see what I'm carrying today. Okay. So I'm carrying this Tucson. It's a good knife, man. It's one of Tucson's greatest hits. But anyway. Look at them stop pins. It's crazy. But yeah, it needs it probably. It fires hard. I mean, it'll jump out of your hands. In fact, I handed it to my son the other day. Well, it's probably been a couple weeks ago. And I told him to hold on to it. And he's like, I don't know that, kids are. And it literally fell. And he's like, well, maybe I don't need an automatic. I'm like, yeah, maybe you don't. But anyway, now some guys, I'm not sure. I've never checked this out, and I'm just bringing it up now. And I'm not sure. I wish I did know. I wish I'd researched it before. I thought to research it before I come out here. But I've heard this blade rides right on the aluminum in here. There's no washers, no bearings. It just rides right on the aluminum frame. So that would make one leery, but it's got to be okay. People, they sell these like crazy. People love them. I haven't heard of any problems. So I imagine if it is done that way, then it's just fine. So the Microtech stitch, this is just awesome knife. Lanyard hole there. The clip's not reversible, but just a beast of a knife. Comfortable. Man, I can't wait to get the manual version of it. I hope it's, built like this, and I know it looks like it. It looks a little bit different. When you see them in a catalog, you can or online, you can tell. But anyway, that's the stitch. And this next one is one that I wanted for a long time. And for the longest time, you could only get Microtech's version of them. And they were about $7,000 to $1,000 at the time. I think I found a couple that I was going to try to get for like $800 a long time ago. But that was a little bit out of my reach then. Still is. But, another collaboration, if that word suits you. This is the Microtech Annex. This is an M390 also. This is an integral titanium build. Just really nice. It's got the proprietary hardware on it, but it comes with the tools you need. It also comes with these dorky looking things. My wife absolutely hates this. Just some kind of fob. It comes with two different ones. It's got one that's round, and then it's got this one. I've heard them referred to as butt plugs and just all sorts of things. I leave it in there when I have it in my drawer and stuff, just to make people ask questions, so I can give them weird answers and stuff. But anyway, so very good action. My only bitch about this knife is the D10's very light on it. I mean, I haven't fooled with it to see if I could tighten it up any. It's an integral, so it would be, somewhat difficult. I wouldn't want to go in there screwing around and mess something up. It'd make it harder on myself. But yeah, this is the Annex, and I love it. It's this titanium and carbon fiber both are contoured here. I don't know if I can have you see that on camera. Be a little bit difficult. But yeah, this knife's beautiful. It carries so well. The action's good, like I said. Finger flick. I think you can front flip this. You probably could. I'm not the best front flipper, guys. I really don't care for them. I can do it, but I don't like to. Yeah. So I think it's meant to be front flipped. I don't know. Kind of looks like one of those knives that wasn't really made that way, but you can do it. Kind of like the Shaman. But anyway, yeah, good knife. One other complaint, on this knife, and it's more of a preference thing, guys. It's just me, but bead blast finish on blades can be a nightmare. I've had rust pitting on knives with bead blast finish on things like S35VN, M390. It makes the surface porous, and it just holds moisture or grease from your fingers, something. If you're not careful, you can, it's not the end of any worlds or anything, but you can get spotting on your blades on bead blast. It seems to happen there more than anywhere else. But I think Stasa from his channel, I don't think he's a big fan of bead blast either, and I'm definitely not. So this pocket clip looks a little squirrely, but it works really well. But yeah, guys, I just, like I said, this video wasn't how I wanted to do it, but it's a video, guys, and I hope you all are having a good day and things are going okay for you. I'm hoping things get better. We've had some rough times here. Everybody's all right. We're good to go, but just I want things to be better, and I hope they are shortly, and I hope everybody, I want everybody to do well. So, all right, guys. So we got the Socom Elite, Socom Bravo, Microtech Stitch, and Microtech Annex. Or you could say Reich on these two, if that, however. All right, guys. Have a good day. Until next time, take care.